Seriously?
Yep.
The finger, that's funny.
The finger is only as good as the face.
Okay. How does the audio sound?
Good.
Yeah. See, making fun of me because of my awesome microphone.
You just look like a smooth jazz operator.
See it right here?
Bye.
See it. Hey there, Frank and Michelle. How's it going?
Hey.
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, I have my mute off. Good. Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
I
Michelle.
feel like I live on Zoom these days.
Oh my gosh. I rush to the office and then this is my day.
Who has time to lead gen when all we're doing is zooming? I mean, I'm trying. Just
Yeah, I end up not leaving the office for like
7 p.m.
several hours after everybody leaves just so I can catch up on my stuff.
Yep.
It's a constant juggle, that's for sure.
That's true. I've learned to be very flexible.
So Jesse, this one's on Smartplans, is that right?
It is, yes.
So is that the one, I think we spoke a little bit about it the other day, where like every transaction I put together a series of activities that go along with it? Is that what this is? Or is this the campaigns?
It's not campaigns either.
Okay.
So this is actually going to be about staying in communication with your database.
Oh,
Mostly, right? By
Okay.
using the smart plans. I mean, that's the whole point of the smart plans.
okay.
It's for that purpose. So let me go ahead and get this screen shared here. How's the audio, by the way? I went and got myself one of these nice
Perfect.
little mics here. Hopefully it's a lot clearer than before.
It's perfect.
Nice.
Hey, Jesse, can I ask you a quick question on landing page?
Sure. What you got there?
I was trying to set mine up and I had a little bit more of a problem, I think, with, oh no, I know what I wanted to, I had a problem earlier with photos, but at the bottom, when you, when they want you to fill in the, they call it the legal part, it's the bottom of the page itself. What normally goes in that space?
So for the landing page, what normally goes in that space? Okay. Let me see if I can pull something up here for you. So I'm using a demo account today, so I don't have all my stuff here that I normally would have, but I think we can still do it real quick before.
Yeah, I didn't want to take up your hour's time, but I was working on it this morning.
So we're looking at a standalone page for the landing page. Okay, so the legal footer, is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah, so that will contain things like each Keller Williams office is independently owned or operated. So this one, the legal footer actually satisfies the requirement that it be branded with the brokerage information.
Right.
Right. So it'll, when you have it set up for yours, it should say Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, have our brokerage or market center address here, license number, things like that, and also include each Keller Williams office is independently owned and operated. That's the requirement. That's why they call it the legal footer.
So where do I get that information then?
That is all that information is actually populated in your marketing profile.
Okay.
Okay. So we can get in contact afterward and I can show you how to get that all set up for yourself. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cool. All right. So smart plans it is. All right. So yesterday, who was participating yesterday in Heather's boot camp class? Anybody?
I was.
Frank was. Were you,
I was
Michelle?
there.
I was.
And Teresa? Okay, cool. So awesome. So this will be pretty pretty beneficial for you then. It's going to be a little bit more in depth into what you can do with Smartplans and your contacts, okay? So one thing that I'm going to do is show you how to get these things created so you can make your own, be custom with it, make it reflect your own language, your own nomenclature that you use consistently with your business, okay? Okay, so basic navigation here. Oh, my, there it is. There you go. Can you all see that? Oh, the little homing feature that I have on my cursor?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so this will make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and click here on the red KW button, and I'm going to select Smartplans. Okay. And that'll bring us here. So the very first thing that you're going to see is it says My Smartplans, but consider this your own personal smart plan library. Okay. And then, of course, we do have a library over here. So Heather probably already went over what these are and how to add them to your own library, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I got an affirmative there. So yeah, so it's pretty simple. Just gonna reiterate, you just click the button
Which
and it'll add the plan to your own library. Okay, so add smart plan there. Now you can change it if you want to. You can have multiples of the same smart plan and just edit one and leave one the same. It's up to you. But you want to make sure that these are available for you in your own personal library so that you can begin using them. Okay.
So would it be a good idea just to go through each one of these right now, pick the ones we want? Well, not right now, but right away, and add them to our personal library?
Yeah, I would recommend that. That way they're available to you. Whether you plan on using them for every contact or not, that's completely up to you. But as long as you have them available, that'll at least set you up for the time being.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hey there, Larry. How's it going?
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Good. How about everybody else?
Good.
Good to see you, Frank.
All right. So what I did was I went ahead and added every smart plan to the library. So now when I go to my smart plans, it has 10 there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another 5. We got our 10. Okay. So they're all there. They're now all available for us to use. You'll notice that over here on the right, you have a little pencil button. Some of these are editable. Okay. Some of them are. Some of them aren't, and you'll see that. See this right here? How it's showing that little prohibited symbol? A little circle with the dash through it, meaning no, you can't. That'll be what shows that. And you'll mostly see those on the quarterly plan, the bi-weekly neighborhood, even the monthly neighborhood nurture. Those aren't ineditable, which is fine because you don't really have to do much with them. They're already a certain template that's already pre-produced. What I would recommend is adding yourself as a contact in your own CRM, and then set yourself up on all of these so you can see what they look like. Okay. That'll be the best way for you to understand what your clients are seeing. And that way you can explain it to them a little bit better. So a couple things we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and edit some of these existing smart plans. And we're also going to create our own. Okay. And we're going to touch on all of those different points there. So let's go ahead and start with editing a smart plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit. Oh, it's on the next page there. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's right here. It's right at the bottom. Excuse me. I'm going to edit promote my app. That's what I'm going to edit. Okay. Promote my app. We can edit that name too, because that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So let's go ahead and come over here to the edit button and go ahead and give that a click. All right. And you'll notice right up top, there is an edit area for the name itself. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button to allow myself to make that change so that it makes sense when I read it. Ah, okay. Did I have that already? Give me 1 second. I'm going to see why it didn't let me do that. We'll have to figure out why it didn't let me change that name, but we should be able to. This is a demo account, so I'm not so sure how the functionality is going to work. We're kind of learning this together at this point. But in either case, the process will be the same. Okay. So you'll notice here that this one has very limited options in terms of editing this smart plan. It says this is an active smart plan. Editing is limited for smart plans that are currently active. So that's really important to note. So when you begin adding people to these smart plans and you think you want to edit the steps and anything like that, you're limited if it's already active. If you have people already on this smart plan, you'll first have to take them all off and then edit it. Or the other thing you could do is just create a new one, add everybody to that one with your edits, and then delete the previous one. Okay, that's going to make the process a little bit easier. Now I'm going to go ahead and go through these here. So the changes you can make to an active smart plan consist of changing the name of the smart plan, changing the content of the text messages, and changing the task descriptions. Okay, those are the only things that you can change. Things that you cannot manipulate in here are going to be adding steps, deleting steps, or changing the order of the steps. Okay, so that's why it's important to make sure that the smart plan that you create or that you want to edit is not attached to any contact. Okay. This one isn't attached to a contact. Actually, it might be. Let me double check here. Let me see if I've added this to any of these made up contacts here. Nope. No smart plan there. And no smart plan there. Okay, so we're fine. I'm not sure why this is saying this. So if I want to begin editing this, all I have to do is navigate to the fields that I have available for me to edit. So as I read over here, we can change what the text message says. And here is that content. You notice how I'm able to activate and start clicking into this message window. Do y'all see that? Okay, good. So one thing that I want to make sure is that not everybody is on a team, right? How many individual agents do we have right now on this call? We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. And the rest of us have a team, either a husband and wife team or a team with multiple members on it. So we can leave this as is, as it says, for us team members, right? So this text message is an introductory message that we can give to our clients as a team. Hey, this is Jesse Rojas with the Rojas Group, or Michelle Ripley with the Ripley team, or whatever you like to put in there. And what's cool is whatever's populated in terms of your team name and command will populate here. And that's what these boxes in the message denote. These are actual active functions. Okay, so agent.first.name is actually what a column in the database is called, right? So anything that has that value in the database and you add this smart plan to that contact, that value will be automatically populated there, right? So for you, being that it's for you, your first name will be there and your last name will be there, okay? And because your team name is populated all in the database as well, it'll appear here once that gets sent out. The other functions that you have to add there are as follows. You can add a contact first name, their last name, email, phone number, birthday, home anniversary, and you can add your KW link. Okay, so those are your options. That's what this button here says. It says use merge fields. So that button is referred to as the merge fields button. To me, because I used to be a database administrator in my previous job, in my previous life, that means to me that that's a function, that's a function of the database, that it exists there. Okay. So we can make those edits.
And Jesse?
Yeah.
The app link insert there, does it automatically pull our data from our profile and all that for sure? Okay.
Yes, it sure does. It pulls your information specifically. So as long as you have everything set up in your marketing profile correctly, it'll pull from that.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
How do we get our KW app link?
So your KW app link, there are a couple ways you can see it. What's nice about this is if you add this button here, you don't have to know it. If it's available to the database, it'll automatically populate that for you. But if you want it, I can show you real quick that your app link is going to be found in the consumer applet right down here. And this will be part of a later training as well, but just to satisfy the curiosity, we're going to go to Site and App Settings. We're going to click on URLs, and here is where you'll find your app link. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
You
Thank
can
you.
test that by clicking copy and pasting that into your address bar and seeing where it takes you. Okay.
Hey, Jesse, I hate to get a little bit even more off track, but under your subdomain, under that URLs, it has your name.kw.com. Mine is super old with my non-married name. Is there a way to update that, or does that even matter?
There is, and that'll be covered in a later class. But
Okay.
yeah, you can change that. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so back to the smart plans here. That's how you verify that your link is working.
Jesse, real quick,
Sure.
for agents that may not know that, go back and show the app. Go back and show that app page. Right here where it says DM, Demo MC495, that's what tells you that it is your app link. It'll come up here and it'll say Frank Ramirez or
Yeah.
something, that's how you verify that that you have embedded the correct app link, is that'll tell you whose link is actually going to be in this when it gets sent out.
Yeah, so thank you for that, Larry. And yeah, so he's right. This will denote that it is branded to you. You'll also be able to verify that based on the code that's in the address link itself. This last part right here is specific to the Demo MC495, but you would have one specific to you just as everybody else would, okay? If you don't see that, then your marketing profile is not on, and you would need to make sure that it is so that this can be branded, okay? I'm not sure if that was covered in yesterday's class, honestly, but it is an important step, I would say. Okay, so jumping back to the smart plan. Let me talk a little bit about what this means. All right, Jess, what is this? This is your plan here, okay? So what this is saying as part of the Promote My App plan is the very first action that's taken is it will send an email, okay? That's what it says, send an email. That's your first action. The next part of that, it says it will delay for 1 day after item 1 has been executed, right? So after a day, a text message will go out with this script if you have your Twilio account set up to it. What's Twilio? Twilio is a text messaging service that Keller Williams has partnered with to facilitate our automatic text messaging requirements. Okay, that's one of the.
Do we need that account? Do we have to have that?
You don't have to have it. What it will do if you don't is create a task for you to send that text. If you have it, it'll do it automatically for you. It's pretty reasonable in terms of pricing. So cost per text message is pretty reasonable. Coming up here soon, you'll start to see some things change in the settings portion of command. where you begin to connect to Twilio. Right now, the process is a little different in that it forces you to go to the Twilio website, start up your account there, and choose a number and all this stuff. It'll change here in the near future, so you don't have to navigate outside. Okay. And yeah, so again, to answer your question there, Frank, no, you don't need to have it. It's only if you want it to be done automatically that you would need it. Okay.
But on the step one where where it says send email on the step one, what is that verbiage within the box stating? So on that first email that goes out, what does that say?
I don't know, because it doesn't allow me to drop it down.
Well,
Okay.
Jesse, I actually have done this. And if you go static, you create your own dynamic. There's actually pre-made emails already set up.
Well,
Okay.
that's thank you, but that's not what Frank was talking about.
Okay.
He was talking about here in the send email section. What does the rest of this message say? So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go back to the library without leaving our spot there. And I'm going to go to this app, and it's going to show me the steps. But as I hover over some examples, you can see the example text that's going to be used. I'm hovering over that email. It doesn't do that. Okay, so the only real way to know what it says is back to my recommendation of adding yourself to that smart plan just to see what it says. That would be my advice in this case. So create yourself as a contact in your database and throw yourself on the Promote My App smart plan and see what it says.
Good idea.
Okay.
Jesse, is that email going to go out automatically? Because it said automatic or manual. So is it set up now to go automatically, or is it going to be, because it says trigger manually at the very top there?
Yeah, so what that trigger means is you would need to add this smart plan manually to a contact for this to start. It just doesn't work automatically without it being added manually in that respect. Will it send out? It can send out by use of command email. So let's go ahead and show you what command email, what the little setting looks like real quick here.
Okay.
So we're in the settings section, and it's going to be at the very bottom, well, just about the very bottom. It's going to be based on command. If it doesn't say connected for you, it's not going to send the email.
Okay.
Okay. If it says it, it's going to send it. No problem.
If you're connected, it'll just send it.
It'll just send it. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll get a task to say, send an email.
Okay.
Right? So it'll tell you to send an email. It may tell you what to say in it or something to that effect, but generally everybody's command email should be connected automatically. However, those of us that are using different domains for our email addresses may need to manage this manually and just select the right email that it's coming from.
Okay.
And by setting up that email, what you're essentially doing is setting up a reply to email address, right? So it's using command email. So if a client sees it and they reply, where's that reply going to, right? So it's going to go to your email, whatever one is registered here. Okay. And this is what you do. You just put in your sender name, you put in your name, blah, blah, blah. And then you select the appropriate email and you're done.
Okay. Over in manage. Okay, great.
Over in the manage section. And just to add, since we're here and we can see it, I know it'll be a little bit of a question here, but there's this manage subscription button. The manage subscription button is there for you to add on more credits for emails, right? So if you notice here, it says you've sent 0 of your 5,000 available emails this month. If you have a large database and you know you send more than 5,000 emails a month to your database, you can go ahead and upgrade your email subscription. You just click on that. It'll take you to the marketplace. And here's the pricing for your upgrades. So if you want to get up to 10,000 emails sent, it costs you $10, 20,000, 25, so on and so forth. Okay.
But right now we get 5,000 free a month, right?
Yep.
Okay.
5,000 free a month.
That's great.
Yep. So $10 will get you 5,000 more, and
Okay.
then, or it'll give you 10,000 more, right? It should.
Yeah.
And you keep adding on as you go through it. All right, back to where we were. Okay, so let's talk about this navigation here. What is all this here? So kind of what Randy had said before, there's static and there's dynamic. So static means that it doesn't matter what is sent out. This is all that it'll ever send. That it's just the one, right?
Mhm.
Dynamic is there for you to add different ones. So if you've sent this one before, it'll send a different message here, or you can continue to add, right? It'll let you add a few more. So aside from the one, you can add 5 additional messages that kind of say the same thing, right? Because that's its purpose. You want people to engage on your app, right? So depending on what it is, it'll send one of 6 messages if you have 6 set up there. You don't need to have 6. If you want it to be consistent and you don't want to have to worry about being creative with your verbiage or anything like that, you can just leave it static and it will always send the same text message to anyone you add to the smart plan. Does that make sense? I'm
Yeah.
teaching you class, bro.
Yeah. One benefit I can see with maybe having one more is like a follow up to that one would be a reminder, that you send it to them, have another link and say, oh, by the way, you can share this. Once you download it, you can share it with your family and friends. That would be like a nice follow up of it.
If I can inject, I changed a couple of mine. Like the first one says, check it out. The next one was, hey, if you're not even looking to sell, this will help you keep an eye on what your home is worth and what's selling around you. Then the next one was, hey, if you got a friend who's looking, share it with them. There's also a great mortgage calculator within the app, showing them different highlights of what's inside the app other than just, hey, you're looking to buy a house with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great, Randy.
Yep. That's right. So Teresa, to kind of add to your point about a follow-up, if you notice here, step number 5,
Yeah.
it's a follow-up.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
So step 5 there is like, hey, did you know that you can see all the cumulative steps about your neighborhood in my new app? Let me know what you think. And then there's the app link.
Okay, great.
Right? It's pretty cool. So this one is pretty stuck. You can't do anything else other than what's here, right? Or change the verbiage here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get around that? Well, let me show you. You're going to begin here. I'm going to trash this one real quick.
Yeah,
and we're going to, what was that?
Getting rid of smart plans I originally put in, but that I've made my own. I want to get them out on my list now.
Yeah, you can delete anything, right? So if I added this to this library and I actually don't see any value in this smart plan for my business, I can just click on delete and it'll remove it from my library. And if you decide, actually, you know what it does, I made a mistake in deleting that, you can just add it back. With a custom one, that's not the case. If you delete a custom smart plan, it's gone.
Okay.
So just be mindful of what you're doing.
Yeah,
What I would recommend.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. What I would recommend if you're going to create a custom smart plan is use a Word doc or some kind of word processor and outline what your smart plan would look like. Keep that safe there. So if you do need to recreate it because you mistakenly deleted a smart plan, you can just go back and recreate what you had there. Okay, sorry about that, Teresa.
No, I was just gonna let you show Frank if it's active that you have to go in and take the people out and then delete it, right?
Yeah, I had mentioned that at the start.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's create.
Is there a limit to how many steps you can add to a smart plan?
There
To
is.
create- To
There
create
is a limit of 7 tasks in a day
Oh,
that you can
okay.
create. I wouldn't recommend using the smart plans for anything other than just keeping in communication with your client.
Yep. Okay.
There are some other things here that could be used for that.
Okay.
One of which, so just to alleviate some curiosity here, before I create a custom smart plan, I'm going to go ahead and show you something that I did earlier today.
Aren't you lucky to have a bunch of curiosity in the room?
I like it. I like it. That means that you're wanting to dig deeper. You're wanting to learn more. You're wanting to know what I've broken and come across so that you can better implement it in your system. I'm good with it. Okay. Let's try this again here. It is Thursday, and they may be pushing some updates. So if I get kicked out or you guys get kicked out, that may be why. Just to give you a heads up, because it looks like it's taking a bit for things to load here. And that's usually an indicator. Yeah. Let me see here. All right. Has everybody seen Jeopardy once, right? This is where that trumpet's playing. Yep, that's it. All right, we'll give it a second to see if it'll let me log in again. Onboarding. Maybe. I'm just going to close out these other things here, just in case. It looks like it wants to, but it's not really sure. Okay, in either case, let's try it from this window. Yep, updates are happening. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see if I can log in as myself here real quick. Actually, I'm going to try a different window, see if it has any effect. No success. Is anybody experiencing any laggy load times on your systems?
No, I'm fine.
Would it be the internal internet?
It might be the office internet. Give me 1 second. I'm going to switch over to my hotspot. Hopefully that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just exploring, so I'm fine.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, see all those 502 server errors?
Yeah, it looks like it threw me off too, Jesse. I was in command.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I think they do the updates at night.
that's one of my biggest things is I'm like, come on, guys, do these at night when no one's using it.
Yeah.
So okay, let's try this again here. If I can't get it up, then I will show you guys what that outline of a smart plan will look like. Okay, just give me 1 second here.
I couldn't get in at all.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch windows here of what I'm sharing. And we'll go over what an outline would look like, okay? Okay, can everybody see this?
Yep.
Let's keep it in the same aspect ratio. Okay. So this one was done by the Relocate Upstate team back in South Carolina. And this is how he decided to design his smart plan. So day one, text message, promote my app. There's that delay or break. Another email. Day 5 is a phone call and a text. Text message on day 6. Day 7, another delay. Day 8. So that's kind of the basic idea, right, of how you would begin. This is not very specific. This is just the overall plan on how we would like it to do, how we'd like it to function. And then he goes into some more specifics here. So here's the instructions that he laid out here. So day 1, hi, is this Jesse? Question mark. No response there. Who cares? It's going to take a day. That's on day 1. Day 2, he's going to he's going to add them to the Promote My App Smart Plan. Okay. I wish I could show you, but you can actually add a step on a custom smart plan to add the contact to another smart plan. So there are those triggers available within Command to do so. So that's what this is referencing to. The other thing that he could do is actually create a task to say, assign contact to Promote My App Smart Plan. But you can just set that trigger to happen automatically on this day. Okay. Now it looks like he has a delay set here for an extra 2 days. So now we're on day 5 where something happens. And here's another text script that he has here. Okay. And so on, so on. You guys kind of get the idea of where I'm going here. And this is that type of document that I said to have available so you can reference it later in the event that you do delete your custom smart plan. It can happen. I wish there was more of a decline, but I wish there was more options available in terms of, like, instead of it being deleted right away, it'd be an archive, kind of like our contacts, and then you can unarchive them and get them back to active. But there isn't that functionality with the smart plans, because you can see the amount of complexity in your smart plan can get pretty high, right? You can set a lot of steps. So redoing this again from scratch is going to be a tedious thing. So if you have a VA, who here uses VAs or has an office, have an assistant that can do this for them? Okay, Michelle, I see Michelle's hand. Everybody else, or I guess we're all on our own. This is also important. So you can also develop this with one of your assistants so that they understand what it is and they can just enter that in there for you.
Yeah, it's really cool to have all the text in there so that you just copy paste, and you may be able to use some of these text statements with slight bit of editing in different smart plans that you create, but you would still have these, really well written pieces of copy already on paper, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Jesse, is there any way you can share that with us or send us a copy of this?
Yeah, I
just
can
so we could use it as a template.
Yeah, I can add this to the chat.
Great question, Frank. Thank you.
I can add that to the
Give
chat.
us a little bit of a guideline, something to think about when creating our own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
And you said there's a limit. Did you say 7 steps per day, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't go more than that. I mean, you're talking about 7 things to do with one contact in one day.
Yeah.
That can get a little massive. And they'll be like, what the heck? Why am I getting all these different actions happening? Why can't it all just be one? and
Yeah.
then that'll be some feedback that you'll end up getting. So
Yeah.
let's not bombard our clients that way.
We don't want to be stalkers.
No, aren't you ever satisfied? This one's called. Give me a second here. I'm locating this file so you guys can have a copy of it.
I was actually looking for this Facebook lead follow-up smart plan. So this is perfect timing, Jesse.
I'm just happy to find out that that happens. You know, it's like, oh, that's actually happened a few times this week already.
All
This is
right.
perfect timing. I was just thinking about this. I'm happy about that for sure.
Yeah, I've been going in and setting up smart plans for different ones, and I thought I wish I had one of those. So
Okay, so you should all be able to download that PDF from the group chat. So go ahead and give that a shot and let me know if you have any problems with that. And in the background, guys, I'm still trying to see if I can connect to command, but it still looks like we're erroring out. So we may or may not be able to get back in.
Hey, Jesse, this is the second Zoom call I've been on where I notice I'm not receiving chats. There's nothing there. Any idea?
It looks like you're on your iPad, right?
Yeah. I
think
usually don't have any issues on my iPad though, so I'm just confused. You just sent that to everyone and I see a blank chat to everybody. I don't see anything here. Now,
it may be the version of Zoom that you have on your iPad. Zoom has been pushing out a lot of security patches, and if you don't keep up with the updates of the app, some functionality ends up being impacted.
okay.
Or at this case, what you could do is, we're fine with you doing, is just joining on the Zoom call and from your computer. You can go ahead and join in there, and I'll resend it, and then you can be able to download it there.
All right, I'll try that. I don't know.
Let's make this easy. Where'd it go?
All right, I have my email up. I'm just going to email it to you.
Oh, yes, I was just going to say, I'll just do that.
I already have it up, so here it comes.
Thank you.
But I mean, that's kind of the way I do things. There's more than one way to skin a cat is usually what I think with everything. So if it doesn't work there, it might be a device thing. If it might be something that we can just circumvent by what I'm doing, like sending it via email instead. A lot of different things here. There it is. Fixed it. All right, there you go.
Jeff, you said you got a new microphone, right? What kind did you get? I've ordered 2 different ones from horrible Amazon. I had to send them both back. They were awful.
How does this one sound? Does it sound okay?
Yeah, I think it sounds very clear.
Cool. So I will send you an email. I don't remember specifically what it is, and I don't want to make a bunch of noise by messing with it at this point. But
Okay.
it was pretty reasonable. It was less than $100.
Oh, that's less than what I paid for the ones I had to send back.
Yeah, and it came as a whole kit. So it has the pop filter, it has the head guard there, and it has the extendable arm.
Oh, great. Excellent. Yeah, I would love to order that.
Okay. So I'm just for the sake of making sure that it's a device issue there, Michelle, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat again, and let's see if you get it. Okay.
You're muted, Michelle.
I got it. I'm just going to check chat. Yeah, it came out on my laptop, but not on my iPad, so that's good news at least.
Yeah. Okay. So it might be a version. So after the call, just make sure you run
Yeah.
your updates for your apps, and you should be
Okay,
okay for
thank
that.
you.
You got it. I'm trying to see if I can get command to come up again, guys, but it looks like we're out. That's okay. I'm letting all my people know.
Yeah, well, it'd be a lot nicer if they could have a night crew do that. It would be really nice.
Well, this actually, because it's down like so hard like this, it may be just something more than just updates. It's maybe a system issue somewhere down a higher level than way above Tucson, you know?
Well, don't they normally have the Southwest training at the same time that the local training is? I feel like I remember seeing an email about that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at my connection with all these other tech trainers across the country, and they're all conducting classes right now too, and seeing the same thing. So it's everybody.
Hey, Jesse. Me and Zach both have a quick command question that we wanted to hop on here for because you're experiencing the same problem too.
Oh, I think it's just because it must just be because of the server connection right now. I'm thinking.
Yeah, so our opportunities are just like disappeared, but they show up when we go on our client's actual page.
But under the opportunity section, they're gone. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking maybe it's just a problem with the server, or maybe an update that happened. I don't know.
Not quite sure at this point yet, guys. But just so I can set the expectation here, for the month of August, Command Like a Boss is going to be pretty hyper focused. So today's class is a continuation and a more in-depth look at what Heather did yesterday. With your questions like that, just do me a favor, email me. Okay, just email me and I will try to get an answer for you. I may refer you to support@kw.com to see if they can get that resolved for you too. But I can help escalate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yep, looks like we're still down. All right, guys. So, jumping back into the smart plan. So, you can use this as a general thing. It kind of gives you the idea of how your other smart plans could be. Something that I've noticed for some people is you can create a smart plan on anything essentially. So one thing that I've done is I created a wedding anniversary smart plan that I just created myself. And because I know what that date is specifically, and I want to be able to have enough time to go out, get a happy anniversary card or something to that effect, I end up setting that smart plan to run 5 to 7 days before the actual day happens, right? So I'm giving myself a lead in to doing that. So it'll come up as a task to say, send such and such a happy anniversary card, right? So I can go to the Hallmark store, Walgreens, or wherever I like to get my cards and pick up a card, get it all written up. You know, that's super nice. I mean, celebrate things with people, you know. Sure, it has nothing to do with them buying a house from you, but that just goes to show that you care a little bit more about them than the purchase or the sale of a house. I think it goes a long way. And who was on the Ignite class this morning? Was anybody on that?
I was.
Yeah. So what did Mr. Delperdang talk about today? He talked about coming from contribution, right?
Yes.
And he talked a lot about having conversations with people that aren't centered only around real estate. He gave a script earlier that talked about just checking in on people because of the pandemic and stuff like that, how that looks, or even referring them to, you know, a lender so they can look into a refinance because of interest rates being so low. Has nothing to do with him saying, hey, come buy a house for me now because interest rates are low. He's like, no, hey, think of refinancing. You know, it's something else. Would you be cool if I sent you to my preferred lender there and see what they can come up with for you? And that's the same kind of thing you can do with the smart plans, right? You can create that.
That's
You know, the smart plan's purpose is to stay in contact, stay top of mind with your clients. Hey, it looks like Command's back up.
now you can show us how to actually go to create it. Yeah.
Yeah, so let me get this switch back to the correct screen here. There we go. Can everybody see that now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, so one thing that I want to touch on. So we're talking about creating tasks for ourselves, right? Throughout a transaction.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's separate from smart plans, but I think it has its place here because it's something that we want to happen, right? We want to be notified of when something's due or that we need to complete it, right? So take, for example, here, this first little cultivate opportunity I have here. I just created one checklist item. And to get to where I was, we're going to the opportunities applet in Command.
Okay.
And we're going to see Mickey Mouse here, Mickey and Minnie Mouse. You know, it's funny. My phone never rings if things are going well, but because Command went down for that bit, my phone is blowing up right now, guys. It's pretty funny. So what I did was create a checklist for this. I only added one item, but check out what this item says.
How did you? Which?
This little button.
Oh, I see. Okay. I don't have anybody in that box, so I was like, what? Okay.
And it's going to be the same. I mean, it doesn't matter where it is. There's going to be a little checklist button. It's whether you have it built out or not. But before I show you how to get one in there, I want to show you what it does. Okay. So for Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, I went ahead and added an item here that says set appointment. Okay. Now, what I did specifically in this opportunity was create when it was due. So it's past due, right? So I'm going to edit this. And I'm going to edit the time to 2:30. I'm going to hit save. Okay. So that, because I did that and added a time and gave it a deadline, it made it become a task. Where's it going to show up, Jess? Why is that important to me? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to come here to the dashboard real quick. And here it is, right smack in the middle. Set appointment. Oh, let me refresh this a little bit here. So it's set an appointment, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to the task section right here so you can see everything. It looks a little bit differently. Okay. These are contact tasks, but you have opportunity tasks. And this is where that checklist comes in handy. So here's the opportunity task, and there's that set appointment task that I set to be due at 2:30 today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get notice of this. You got to make sure you have your task set up that way. So if you say you're in an inspection period and you have a Benzer due, well, you know how much time you have in your Benzer period, your due diligence period. So set yourself a due date and a time specifically to make sure you get that done in time.
And these pop up on Kelly?
They should pop up in Kelly. Yeah, any task that's in here. So you can sort between contact tasks and opportunity tasks right from the dashboard as well. So you can see. Okay.
Very nice.
You'll want to, I mean, you're going to be in Command every day anyway. So make sure you have this reflecting the correct information for you. What's going to be impactful? Okay. So what do I got to do today? Here's your task list. And anything that's due today will appear here. And also anything past due, right? So let's go back to the contact tasks and it changes its status, right? So it's all past due. They're all due today, but I blew by those due times. So these were earlier today, like noon, right? So I'm past due now. So at least I know that I have stuff that still needs to be done. Yeah, you see that? You hover over the task, it gives you a little preview of what it is. There's your due date of 12 p.m., 12 p.m., and 1 p.m., right? So this one looks a little different. What's up with this one? Well, you can include some hyperlinks if it's necessary, right? So what I did there was just add a web address so my client can take a look at this. Like, say Mickey actually likes talking about cars and he was looking for a good resource on cars. So there it is. I set him up with a link for TFL Car. It's a blog website that talks about cars. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do with this. But the one thing that you're going to need to do is create those checklists in your opportunities. Without those checklists and without you utilizing them and setting due dates for your opportunity specifically, it's not going to work. Okay. So there's a little bit of an adjustment that would need to be made to your workflow. So it works like this. In my previous life, I was an EHR specialist, electronic health record specialist for a behavioral health company here in town. And one of the things that I did was train all of the users, all the clinicians, to use that specific software. Now, one thing that I had to overcome with all of them was having them understand that they need to use the system as it's designed versus forcing it into fitting in their workflow that is outside of its design. Okay, so with these new systems, the one thing that I would really challenge everybody on or recommend for everybody is to enter into them, know what your process, what you could do with your process, know what you need, and then see how your process fits in with how the system is designed. Okay, so with that in mind, create your checklists as you would. Create your smart plans as you see fit. Make sure it makes sense to your workflow and make the adjustments that you need to so that this makes sense, becomes less clunky, and actually feels smooth in your process. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Do you have a calendar view of the task or not?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
You have like a calendar view of your tasks or not?
I don't have a calendar view of my tasks. That's one thing that I've asked for is if I'm going to set myself up a task, and I set up my Google Calendar to be connected with Command, I want whatever tasks that I have due to show up on my calendar as an item that needs to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Because this right here goes with me everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I literally don't go anywhere without it. And my calendar is there. And if I can see it visually on my calendar when I'm reviewing it, I would love that task to be there. A way you can get around it, sort of, if you want, is to add. So for us, we have KW, which is the KW email, which is powered by Google G Suite. We can add Google Task to our suite, and we can begin using Google Task, and those tasks show up on our calendar. I know it's an extra step and it seems redundant, and I'm working on it. I'm trying to get us to do some more stuff.
So here in Command,
So
lines, you don't have a calendar view of your task in Command end.
Right. There's not a calendar view of it, unfortunately. And that is something that I brought up, and it is something that I talked to about with my fellow labs advisors, so that can be implemented. I was like, what about a calendar view of stuff? Everybody was like, yeah, we need that, especially if we're integrated with Google on such a level. There's a question that came in from Jill. Yeah, you're late to the party there, Jill. But on a team view, let me see if I can make this make sense here. On a team view, you're going to see things differently than you would an independent agent. So let me refresh my command here so that you can see a team view. Okay, so here are contacts here, whatever. Y'all are team members, Rainmakers, you all are able to see different sets of contacts. So if I go to my wife, there's only going to be a few. If I go to Jill, there's only going to be one. If I go to myself, that's where everything lies. And if I go to all, you'll see that number increase ever so slightly there. So it depends on where your contact's added, Jill. If it was added to just Drew's, then it would be in just Drew's or whatever. If it was added to the team's contact list, you'll need to find it there. And that's where the email is currently in use. Please use a different email. Notification will come up from. So make sure you're filtering through the different things as a rainmaker. So Michelle, that'll be a good tip for you. Frank, good tip for you there as well, in navigating that. And also the property source peeps, you'll need to be able to do that as well to manage your contacts for your team.
Hey, quick question. So in the reports section, should it show, so when I'm under property source, when I select my team, should it show all of my team's numbers in reports or, oh wait, I see. So there's a section where it says for all members, or I can do it individually. Okay. And so this is constantly tracking all of them. Okay. Never mind. I answered my own question.
Yep. So if you want to do some number tracking with your members of your team, we're getting a little off topic, but we have no time anyway, so it's okay. You can do this. So Michelle, this will be a good place for you to see, what your team members are doing, just like you guys would with Property Source. Frank, if you and Jan want to track each other's numbers and keep each other accountable and stuff like that, you can see what was done for all the team, what one member has done, what you yourself has done, things like that. Pretty cool, right? And you can do that with anything. Opportunities report, you can do a database report, you can do a goals report, and we got options. That's for a later class, but thanks for bringing up the question there, Zach. Cool. All right, so it's 2:01. I don't want to keep y'all any longer than necessary, but I think we kind of got the gist of how things work. Am I wrong in believing that?
Well, I just have one quick question.
Sure.
On the Smartplans,
Okay.
like if we wanna write our own, create our own, like the Facebook lead you shared with us, do we just go hit that button that says create and then just move it and start making our steps, right?
That's it. So you have to name it, of course. So once you have that name, you click apply. It'll then redirect you to this screen here.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger manually will be there for everything.
Okay.
Then over here on the right, you're going to use these buttons. These are called action buttons.
To make the steps.
So you're going to need to do that. So say task 1 is to send a text message. So you click that and there's your text message box. And then you want it to wait a day. So you're going to select delay.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make it wait a day.
Okay.
So, or I can so you see right there, it says 2 days. And this is how you keep track, how long your smart plan is going to be. 2 days in length, 2 different steps, how many touches specifically, right? So what qualifies a touch?
Anything you're reaching out to someone, be it call, text, email.
Yep, that's exactly it. So, and so this is a touch, this is a touch, and this is a touch, right? Because that's requiring you to get into contact specifically with that client.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so say I wanted to, after a day, send an email. I'm going to click that.
Mm-hmm.
Write up my email. I want to wait a week in this case, so there's my delay, and I'm going to make that say 7.
Okay.
Right. So now when I come up here, it says it's 9 days total so far with 4 steps, 2 touches. Now I'm going to make a phone call and I'm going to send a text. So these will both happen on the same day.
Okay.
Okay. And well, what if I don't like that order? What if I want to change it up a bit? Okay, well, you can do that. You see these arrows, these arrow buttons?
Mm-hmm.
You can move it. So the bottom, where the bottom is, corresponds to the card that's on top. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And you'll notice that text message came out before making a call.
Okay.
Okay, and you can change the order.
Mm-hmm.
But if you forget something, you're going to have to click up or down multiple times to get it where you want it to be. Okay. The next thing you can do, you can add a smart plan if you wanted to. And you can select what smart plan you want to add them to. It's pretty cool. See that?
Mhm.
So it'll automatically add them to, let's say, let's do, where's that neighborhood? There it is. So at step 7, after I make these phone calls, it's going to add them automatically to the monthly neighborhood nurture plan. Right?
Mhm.
Now there's a limitation. Check this out. I'm going to click delay, and I'm going to click delay again. All right. So this doesn't make sense. Why did I do 2 delays? It won't let you save it, by the way. It'll kick it out.
Okay.
See, please complete all required fields. And it'll want you to complete everything. And once it completes everything, it'll say you can't have back-to-back delays. All right. Okay, well, I'll just delete one. And there's this nice delete button here. And click remove. And that extra delay is gone.
Great.
The way you can get around it, if you do want to have an extra delay, so we have one already set, and we want to extend that delay a little bit more, I'm going to just create a task right here, and then I'm going to hit set delay again. This task doesn't need to be anything at all. We'll just make it a non-touch, so I'm not getting in contact. And this name can just be space holder. And that would be good. That's all you would need. So when you see that show up on your task list, oh, it's just a space holder. Check it as done. And then it continues on with the delay. And please note that it does say that it can only do 30 days at a time. So if you're doing your own custom DTD2 plan or something like that, and you know that it's a quarterly kind of a plan, right? You contact that person quarterly, you're going to have a couple sets of 30 days, right? So that's why this little space holder is important, because really nothing's happening for that span of time. Okay. And you can always reference up here how long it's actually going to last, right? So this is an 11-day plan at this point. I'm going to set this to say 30 up here. So there's my delay of 30. I'm going to come down here and say 30 again. And you can see right here, I have 39 days of this task list. Well, that's not the full 90 if this was a DTD2, so I would add another one. But you can't have them back to back. There's some limitations there. I hope that made sense. It's a strange little process, but that's what it requires, unfortunately. Say you wanted to just continue on after that. See this button right here, restart flow. You just click on that button. It adds that action at the bottom. And you can set it for unlimited time. So it can keep rolling this 90-day plan every 90 days. Keep rolling it. How cool is that?
It's pretty neat. Looks like they need to upgrade the maximum number of days though for delays, especially if you have the quarterly plans. So you could even have it quarterly.
Yeah.
You have a quarterly call plan?
There is. It's literally just one thing. There's literally one thing in there for a quarterly, and it only has one action item in it. So it's not the same as a DTD2. It doesn't work the exact same way. It's just like, hey, give them a call, see how they're doing.
Okay.
Right? Because the DTD2 plan is you make a phone call, they don't answer, you leave a voicemail. You wait a day, then the 3rd day of that week, you're calling them, leave no voicemail. The next day following that, you send them a text message, and you're done. Right? That's that DTD2 process there. So, it's every 90 days. And unfortunately, yeah, that's what our limitation is 30-day max delays here. Your emails, I want to show you something real quick. A question that I get about emails a lot is, can I add my signature in there? You know how everybody likes to have their fancy picture signatures in there. Well, these emails don't yet support those images. The way around that is by using HTML. If you create an email template, but I will let you know right now, they are redesigning the email template in Designs, because the one that's there now is, well,
Not good.
it's clunky. Yeah, it's
Very cumbersome.
Agreed.
very cumbersome. It's very complex. Doesn't, it's not written for the layman, right? Unless you're an HTML
Very RDs.
designer and you're scripting out all your own stuff, then yeah, you're fine. But not everybody has that kind of experience with programming. So for now, the simple emails are fine. All you really are is a message. You can add a link here. You see this little chain right here. You just call it something, add your website or app link or something you want them to see, and all they would do is click on that button and it'll take them there, right? There are very basic formatting things you can do here. What is cool though with emails is you have those functions, but it's a little limited. So they're your contact, first and last name, their email, their phone, their birthday, their home anniversary. One other question that I get is, hey, just wanted to reach out. I tried calling you. I just wanted to see if this was the correct phone number for you, right? So if you had it and you weren't able to get a hold of them, you can send them that email, right? So, hi, Mickey, or whatever. Hi, and then I'm gonna put in their first name. Right, I tried calling you. I tried calling you last week. Not sure I have the best number. Is, right, and I'm going to add contact phone there. Best one, right? For example, if you haven't gotten a hold of anybody, you can create a smart plan around that. Thanks, and we'll soon or whatever. You can, and then you would add your own little signature there, right? With your phone number and stuff. That's the way around it. What I would recommend is having like a little note created with your basic signature in there. So when you're creating your smart plans, you just copy and paste your signature into that message. That'll be and now it's a little clunky and it's a little meh. I don't want to do that, but that's the only way to do it at this point.
On the links, the URL links you were showing, so we could link our website there as well, right?
Yeah, so
Where they'd have a link to click to go to our website.
yeah, so I can say this, right? Website, and then I can add okay, and there's the add link. So I can take this and check out my website, right? So that's there. They would then click on website and it would take them to the website once it's active. But that's how that would work. And you can use that with any link. That's pretty cool. If you want them to see a specific property, you can add a link from a landing page that you created for that property. You want to do a notice on an open house you're having, you know, you can add that there.
One of the MLS links for a property.
Any link, anything.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so
Thank
any
you.
questions at this point?
No.
It was great.
Pretty cool. What you
Jesse,
think?
I have a question about the Kelly Guides Smart Plans and how we need to set up our marketing profile, et cetera. Is there going to be, is there a YouTube on all this specific information to KWSA and specifically that we can reference for this to set this up?
So I'll just do it real quick. It only takes a couple seconds here.
Awesome.
So under settings, right in the top right corner, you're going to click on settings. And then the next choice is connect settings. And in there, you'll find the marketing profile. Make sure to have this completed.
So the trouble I had there with pulling photos from my Dropbox is that the size of them exceeds the 1 megabyte that is the restriction here. And I don't know how to make those changes. Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, there's a website called photoresizer.com.
Okay.
I think that's the way you write out that URL. Oh no. So don't put in a hyphen.
Okay. I found it.
Photoresizer.com.
Looks like I got that there.
Yeah, it'll look like this.
Yep,
And then
I
all
got
you
it.
do is add up your file there, and you see that resize button. Just select the appropriate one. Now, because you're working with logos, I would recommend you save them as a PNG file type to maintain their transparency.
Okay.
Okay. And then after you're done there, you can add it there. So the one thing that I want to add though is down below here at the brokerage logo, whatever this is saying in terms of your requirements, ignore them.
Oh.
You can ignore the brokerage one. You can upload photos of any size, of any dimension really, and it will work.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the example. I just took the logo that you can get from MyKW. I just took the logo you can download from MyKW and popped it in here. As you can see, this logo does not conform to the 360 by 360. How do I know this? Well, because 360 by 360 describes a square. This is a rectangle. It has those dimensions, so you're not stuck with making it a square. That's just the brokerage logo at this point that I know of. Actually, I've seen other teams when they add their team logo, there is no restriction there either. It's just the photo, your own picture, that it ends up being a problem.
Okay.
Okay. All the other information, make sure that anything that has a red asterisk is filled in appropriately there. And you should be good with that. So once you create that, and I'm going to reference back to the Kelly guide that you were mentioning here. It's under the Smartplans applet, everybody, under library, where that go to Smartplan Kelly guide button is. If you click that and you click get started, it's going to want your marketing profile built out. If you have your marketing profile already built, let me come back here real quick. One other thing that I would make sure that you have on is this little toggle switch right here, where it says use my information to brand my agent site. So whatever information you fill out here in the marketing profile will be filled out because you have this button turned on. It turns green. It turns green once you have everything filled out. It won't let me because nothing's filled in here. Does that make sense? Okay. Cool. So so let's go back to that Kelly guide real quick. You can fill out the information here. That's fine, but it won't save. It won't save to your marketing profile. Only your marketing profile will fill out this stuff. And you don't have to use the Kelly guide. The Kelly guide at the end will end up showing you how to add all your contacts to it. So if you're in making your own smart plan, do you see this button right here? Looks like a little person with a plus sign in it. You click on that and you can select all of the contacts. Well, let me show you on an actual completed one. Oops. So it's the same button that's right here. Okay. Actually, let me use this one as an example. So I'm going to click that. And you can have all the tags you need, but just know that there are some requirements. So if you're going to use a neighborhood nurture, there needs to be a neighborhood attached to that contact. Whether that's the neighborhood they're in, based on their home address, or a neighborhood that they're interested in, right? So make sure to have something there. And you can add all that's listed here. You could search by tags if you have them created. You can sort them various ways. And if you're on a team, you can include contacts that are shared amongst multiple agents and stuff like that. A few ways to do it. Any questions on that? I just want to say thank you for sticking on to this, guys, because I know we had that little trouble with command there for about 20 minutes, and we've pretty much caught up on that 20 minutes extra here. So I don't want to take any more of your time, so y'all can get back to your business there.
Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming. Bite-sized pieces is good, so I appreciate it.
So the good thing is this is recorded, so if you need to refer to it back again, you have something to do that with.
Hey, Jesse.
Yep.
I had to step off for a call real quick. Did I miss how to add every single person in my contacts to a smart plan at once?
Yep.
I figured so. You can tell me later.
It's recorded.
It's recorded,
All right.
so you can refer to it later.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
All right,
Jesse.
thanks so much,
Thank
Jesse.
you, Jesse.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. We'll see you
You
later.
too.
Thank you.
Hey, Jess,
Sure.
was you able to connect with Rosia, I think was her name from
Let's
yesterday?
talk about that offline.
Okay. All right. Talk to y'all later.
Bye-bye.